So just to recap on our change workshops you've all been running over the last few weeks, we talked about these four main points we've discovered so far. Firstly, real support, wasn't it? So we are providing here at MSB incredibly real levels of support to people, support that almost feels tangible. They felt like we had their back was the words that we got back quite a few times, that they were being properly supported by us at MSB in every part of their business. And that's been a huge success for you guys, because that wouldn't have come back to us otherwise. Personalised support is also very important. We discussed this, didn't we? And the fact that one of our clients in particular said that we were supporting him, not his business. He felt personally supported, and that's really good to hear. An example of that being that some of our clients in Bahrain, for instance, we had to do one-to-one face-to-face meetings with them, which is fine. We are able to do that, and it's not a problem. But that's what I mean by personalised, and thank you for making them feel that way. Our practical support is incredibly important to keep in mind. We need here at MSB to provide solutions to problems that are applicable immediately, so clients can take that support and advice and apply it the very next day, or even the same day if they want to. And we make it as clear as we possibly can for them, don't we? So they can just take that advice, pass it on to their staff and pass it down the chain. And the last thing we came across, and the feedback you've been giving us, was exchanging ideas. The clients that we've been meeting, they've been bouncing off each other and creating new ideas that perhaps we hadn't thought of. And that's a lovely seed that we sow in these meetings that can turn into something wonderful. Anybody else have anything they want to contribute at this point?
Something that came up in a lot of the workshops I was running was the managers seemed to be very concerned about maintaining a level of engagement with their teams. In circumstances where they were working in very different ways, working in the midst of huge levels of anxiety, and how they maintain a level of engagement in order to encourage their teams to continue delivering the highest standards of service to the customer.
And that's a very good point. The anxiety needs managing, doesn't it? And people's behaviours change when they're faced with adversity, and in this specific case, obviously the transmission of an infectious disease. So the first thing was maintaining engagement, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so maintaining engagement, making sure that you have a face that you can put to the advice that you're being given, whether it's a line manager or us. Maintaining engagement, incredibly important. Where am I? Maintaining engagement. And managing behaviours, wasn't it? Was the second one. Managing behaviours. Again, we're all facing this very difficult time, and people's anxiety levels are higher than they've ever been before. So that's a good one. Okay, anything else we can think about? I just wanted to talk a little bit this morning about the online sessions that you, Nicholas, have been running. How have the clients taken to it?
They've embraced it really well, to be honest, after an initial level of reticence. They found it to be a really interesting new way of learning.
Well, that's interesting you say different, but as you say, it's a new way of learning. It's no worse, it's no better, it's just different, isn't it? Where would you say it's most effective going forward, do you think?
Well, it's very clear, having done the sessions that I've done, that one size really doesn't fit all.
Right.
And I think it's at its most effective when it's combined with face-to-face training. A blend of the two works really well.
The combination, as you say, the best approach going forward. Nick, tell me about how your recent coaching sessions have been going.
There's a greater need than ever for both one-to-one and group coaching, given the current circumstances and the challenges that businesses and managers at all levels are facing.
What would you say at the moment the main benefits of your coaching sessions are?
Given the very challenging business circumstances that managers at all levels, even up to director level, are finding themselves in. And I'm finding that people are actually actively looking for guidance in terms of adapting their style to the rapidly changing circumstances. And as I've said to you before, for me, when I'm leading a coaching session, I'm really leading a voyage of self-discovery for the person I'm engaging with, because the person that I'm talking to actually has all the answers, and sometimes they just don't know they've got the answers. So it's about me guiding them to that. I get what they do in a coaching session is identify their strengths, their own strengths, and they identify the things that they could do differently.
It's not just face-to-face coaching you've been doing either, is it? You've been doing some group sessions too. What's the major distinction, would you say, between the two?
Well, I think certainly on a one-to-one basis, once it's set up and once it's going, it's much more intimate. Because it's very self-revelatory for the person. Once you've created an atmosphere, a safe atmosphere of trust, once people can start really exploring who they are and how they behave in the workplace and what their leadership style is. And I might just say that in terms of coaching, it's certainly not me telling them. It's about them actually, with my guidance, pinpointing the things they could do differently or change, and also the things they could keep doing. In terms of the group, it's much more about sharing best practice. It's about, as a group, and generally it's quite a lot of fun, people identifying challenges and agreeing between them and sharing the solutions. So it's rather more strategic, and the one-to-one is very much more personal and based on behavioural stuff.
Don, Brian, you've been telling me you've been doing some employee research recently, but on a virtual basis.
Yeah, we have indeed, and Andy, it's been going very well, which pleasantly surprised me insofar as I thought we might have some technical challenges. People have enjoyed it. In fact, let me just give you one example here. Here's a recent slide, without the client name on it, obviously, but a client who wanted us to look at remote working. And just to give you a flavour here of the sort of things that people were saying. Working from home is more challenging. It's not as easy to convey your feelings. I feel that my performance is not measured in the same way. And these were very typical comments back. Another one there at the bottom. This research has been very helpful in giving me an opportunity to speak in confidence.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that they felt that they could trust this rather than doing it virtually with their manager or the boss, and we could convey these messages.
To see and hear more about our COVID-safe face-to-face sessions, visit our website today or call us on 01344 876300 to discuss your needs in absolute confidence. We are ready when you are.